Xbox is making one of the largest cuts and studio removals in video gaming history. Asha Sharma is making aggressive decisions to pull Xbox out of a tailspin of content and money hemorrhaging. And this is a change that millions of fans are not ready for. This is Cole Eastwood. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about what's going on with Xbox and the Great Reset, what studios are leaving, and an inside track from Xbox and their sources. If you end up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new content. And let's talk about what's happening with the big Xbox reset. Asha Sharma, the CEO of Xbox, is in the second stage of a platform revitalization for Xbox. But now, we are officially in the Great Reset. Xbox is removing 4 to 5 studios from their suite of almost 30 in a year-long set of cuts, which will start with 1,600 people in the Xbox division immediately impacted today. Microsoft plans to cut some 3,000 roles at Xbox throughout the next year, with even bigger cuts to the Microsoft company itself. But the first of those 1,600 people today are cut across all of Xbox's studio teams. Sources told me that some developers did not want to work on other franchises, but many employees across studios are willing to comply with a new initiative that Xbox will focus mostly on major big franchises, leaving the indie games to the indie developers outside of Xbox. The entire Xbox Series generation only making things worse by pushing away from hardware. That multi-platform approach to PlayStation and Nintendo was not only very expensive, but it cost the Xbox team even more. Today, Xbox deems it necessary to trim down what was a bloated team of 30 studios, many of them small niche teams that made games that didn't grow Game Pass and lost Xbox millions of dollars per game. In fact, Xbox was losing 30 cents on every dollar they spent with smaller studios, leading Xbox to focus their investment on bigger franchises in their catalog. Sources tell me that Asha Sharma offered the studios an unprecedented move from a CEO, their independence, and letting them take their IPs and franchises with them to a new buyer or in their own independence. Here are the studios that are being directly affected. DoubleFine was offered its independence for a $1 buyout back to Tim Schafer. Tim Schafer and the DoubleFine team will retain all of their IPs, including Psychonauts, Brutal Legend, and Keeper. DoubleFine had hobbled along the past 20 years, but in their partnership with Xbox, they released 4 games this generation, and Psychonauts 2 was their only breakout hit, even nominated for a Game of the Year award. DoubleFine is a beloved studio that obviously could not thrive under the constraints of the Xbox platform. In fact, I don't think that DoubleFine would have survived if they hadn't been purchased by Xbox in 2019. But with their independence, they will continue to make quirky, whimsical games under the leadership of Tim Schafer for Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo. Compulsion Games is also receiving their independence. This small 80 to 100 person team in Canada will retain their IP with We Happy Few and South of Midnight, but it's not likely we'll see sequels to those games. But Compulsion Games will survive the cut and become an independent studio for all platforms. Ninja Theory was rumored to be sold off for their motion capture technology and expertise, but for now, there are buyer's terms that are confidential and not complete, so it looks like Ninja Theory is likely not shutting down, while agreements are acquired to be third-party. The good news here is that sources are telling me that the new game Senua is on track to be completed by Ninja Theory, and it will release on all platforms as long as the buyer's deal completes. Everyone is asking about Undead Labs and the State of Decay 3. They are showcasing alpha gameplay and allowing content creators to play it, and one of the most common questions is, will State of Decay 3 survive the great Xbox reset? Sources are telling me that State of Decay 3 is on track to release sometime in 2027 and is also in a buyer's confidential term agreement, which will be worked out this year. But it looks like the value of Undead Labs did not go unnoticed, and fans will get to see the final completed version of State of Decay 3 sometime next year. There's one studio that has been rumored to be closed or sold off, and that is Arkane Lyon. Marvel Blade is possibly not going to see the light of day. Sources have told me that there is a foreign deal with the French studio, and there is not a current negotiation in place yet because foreign trade agreements mean Arkane Lyon cannot enter into negotiation until this official announcement of the budget cuts at Xbox is publicly reported. Right now, the discussion at Xbox is either to cancel Marvel Blade and its myriad of development issues and delays, or find a co-developer studio to help finish Marvel Blade sooner. To make matters even more complicated, Xbox will have to negotiate with Disney on the license for Blade before they make any final decisions on the completion, franchising fees, or cancellation of Marvel Blade. Arkane Lyon Studio has been very consistent with their recent development and release of Deathloop and the Dishonored series, but reportedly, Marvel Blade has been a long-winded and delayed disaster. Bethesda and ZeniMax will see the biggest amount of layoffs across their multiple studios. This means a reduction in force for Machine Games, the team behind Wolfenstein and Indiana Jones. Jez Corden of Windows Central has reported that Xbox is committed and investing in the Wolfenstein series to the possible completion of the trilogy since New Colossus in 2017, and even adapting a Wolfenstein TV show. id, the team behind Doom, will see cuts across their studio, as Doom the Dark Ages was one of the lowest selling games in the franchise. Bethesda Game Studios and ZeniMax Online will also see some cuts across their studios at around 20%. But Xbox is making Bethesda franchises a high priority, even asking studios to help work on the next Fallout, and some studios even volunteering to take on Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Mojang Studios, the team behind Minecraft, has been asked to report directly to Asha Sharma since it is one of the biggest gaming franchises in history. They want to have direct leadership and cultivation of the franchise, which has put out very little new content directly in-house. With 1,600 employees being cut from the Xbox division as of today, with a total of 3,000 by the end of fiscal year 2027. The breadth of studios that Xbox was managing over the past 6 years, some of them have been working on their game projects the entire generation. And sadly, many of them did not grow Game Pass and even lost the Xbox platform money. The mismanagement of Xbox Game Studios and its franchises needs to be studied. Xbox has some of the greatest franchises in gaming, with Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, Halo, Gears of War, and so many other iconic games. The inability to make tough choices years ago, the inability to make aggressive and proactive decisions on what should or should not be made, the change of leadership and the choice to reduce the platform by putting their games on PlayStation while fighting to acquire major studios and publishers that only put out Call of Duty. The Xbox platform has dug themselves into a hole, and laying off this many employees and making cuts across their studios will reduce the amount of unique and surprising games that could come from the creative people that make games. Xbox will become a platform that only makes AAA games in an era where the moniker AAA is kind of an insult, and Xbox is going to be one of the most hated platforms for these decisions. Their lack of strong leadership and the foresight to build great games and have a quality control that would earn the love of gaming fans around the world. Hopefully, after all the dust is settled, Xbox will become a more lean and efficient machine. But as fans and consumers of the video game hobby, this is the most difficult news we've had to hear in a very devastating generation. This is Cole Eastwood. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I've been covering this platform for about 9 years, and it's had its ups and downs for sure, but the ability for just having all these studios and not being able to crank out great content consistently. I've liked a lot of the games that Xbox put out, but there's been a few that I've just kind of skipped down on. It makes me wonder, where's the quality control? Why are they letting these studios work for so long without any content out? It's 2026. We're getting into the end of the year soon, and Fable is not out until next year. It's absolutely crazy how much time it's taking Xbox, and the whole games industry is just in major turmoil, but Xbox really, really did it today. And I can understand why people are going to be so angry at them for so long. In fact, I think people are really going to, they've always been angry at Xbox. I've been angry at them many times, but until they do something really great and turn things around, it's going to be a very difficult time for everybody. And I know everyone is on edge when it comes to the games industry. It's just a very difficult time. Prices, game releases, studios, cancellation, everything. It's just been absolutely exhausting. If you ended up enjoying this video and learned something from it and gotten some insight from what Xbox is doing from the inside, thank you so much for your support. You can hit the like button or you can hit the hype button. If you hit that hype button at the bottom, it'll help push that out to people who want to hear more about this. Thank you so much. If you also want to do more, you can hit the join button below. That'll give you a early access channel membership. You'll get to see videos like this 10 to 12 hours. This one you saw as soon as I could actually give the embargoed information. Thank you so much for your support of this channel. I really appreciate it. If you want to hear more, we are doing a special podcast tonight for the XC podcast. We're going to do it an hour early at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. And there we'll talk about everything with the layoffs and what is moving forward and which studios and where they're going and what's left over. There's a lot to cover. We do that live here on the channel, and it's also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts on demand if you want to watch that and check out what we're doing. Thank you so much for your support. Let me know what you think about Xbox and their inability to manage their studios and then sending them off. Some of these franchises will never be associated with Xbox again. It's really crazy. It's really, really disruptive in the industry. It's a tough time. I know a lot of you will have strong opinions in the comment section. While you do that, as I always say, please be nice.